Hi, this is Dr. Stephen with Outclick Magazine. Today we're excited and honored to be talking to our own Dean Trantalis, attorney at Trantalis and Associates, and mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Dean, you're a friend of mine. Welcome to today's program. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us today.
Oh, thank you. This is a great opportunity. I appreciate you inviting me.
Thank you. Dean's internet's a little in and out, so we'll do the best we can with the audio and the video. Dean, I would ask the highlight of your career, but I know it was being on the cover of Outclick Magazine, so we'll just skip right over that. We appreciate you being on our cover back June of 18.
It was the highlight of my career.
The highlight of your career. Dean, you get asked questions about travel and government and law and all of that. I want to pick your brain about something different today, and that is what I'm most interested in my dissertation, my research, my previous work, and that's leadership. So maybe take us to leadership school for a few minutes as mayor and attorney and all the things that you've done. What are the principles of effective leader and a creative leader? If someone is starting out in their career or middle of their career, what do you think are the principles of an effective leader?
I think there are three principles for an effective leader. One is, first of all, if you really want to rise to a level of leadership, I think it's important to listen to people. Listen to what they have to say. Try to cull through the various opinions, distill it down to a common denominator, and understand what it is people are asking for. And to make sure that voices are being heard, understood, and acted upon. The second thing is be honest. It's very, very important that when you're speaking with people and you're trying to make decisions, that people see through dishonesty and people who have ulterior motives and secondary agendas and it's such a waste of time. Be honest. If you can't be honest about yourself and about your own goals, then you're really in the wrong arena. You really should just understand how honesty is so important. Lastly, don't be afraid to make decisions. After you've listened to people and you've thought it through and you've weighed it against your own sense of principles, don't be afraid to make decisions. That's what a true leader is: being able to make decisions, follow through on them, and if you really believe in what you're doing, stick with it, follow that path, and that's what I think creates a great leader.
One of the things that I see a lot of leaders struggle with, and I struggle with too, is indecisiveness and what you touched on. Because after you've listened to everyone, someone's not going to be happy with the decision you make, no matter which decision you make. How do you handle then that group of people who are not going to be happy with the decision, knowing that you still have made the right decision? How do you handle that from a leadership standpoint, Dean?
Well, you just can't let it get to you. There are going to be people who disagree with you, either in a small way or fundamentally, and you just have to accept the fact it's about doing what you feel is the right thing. And if there are people out there disagreeing with you, then that's just, you agree to disagree. I mean, that's just being an adult. And in order to be a true leader, you must pursue the path that you've chosen and stick with it, and realize that you are doing the right thing.
And I think that's difficult as a leader to pick that one thing and go, and then realize not everyone's going to be happy with it. How do you handle negative PR? Because as you rise to the top, and no matter what organization you're in, there's always going to be negative PR. There's always going to be that rumble, because I've learned there's two sides to every story. Not everybody's heard both sides. What's your advice on handling negative PR, Dean?
Well, you cannot internalize the negativity. If there are people out there who are trying to, put you in a bad light and who disagree with you, and who are some who are very aggressive about it, if you think you're doing the right thing, it really, honestly, doesn't bother me. I mean, everyone's entitled to an opinion, and in the end, that you'll come out in the end looking good because you did the right thing in the end. A lot of people who try to demonize people in public office do so because they have a private or personal agenda. Either they're trying to advance themselves, or there's jealousy, or they don't know the whole story. It just is a reflection on them as to their inadequacies, and therefore, I don't. I feel bad for them. I try to help them through it. Sometimes they don't really want to be helped through it. They're just comfortable in their own points of view. So, but again, I don't internalize it. I don't take it personally, and I just move on because it's part of the nature of leadership.
Mhm. I think that's a key. It's how do you balance caring about the people, the city, the organization, the people in your organization at the same time, the negative opinions that come up. It's something I still work on and struggle with. And how do you balance those two things?
Again, as long as you think you're doing the right thing, and as long as you listen to people, and as long as you that there is a goal that is for the good of the people, it really shouldn't bother you what people have to say. It really, you can listen and you can perhaps learn from what others are saying, but in the end, again, uh, any leader that is held back because of negativity, where they take it so seriously, they react. In a way that distorts their own personality is really in the wrong field. You should step aside, let others fill that role, because you cannot be held back by negativity. Whenever there's negativity in the mix, then you have to step aside, move it away, and rise above it,
Mm,
because otherwise you'll never be able to advance the goals that you were put in this place, put in this role to achieve. And I think I've seen a lot of people in public service who have really get caught up in all that, and all it does is destroy them. And it's really not good for you personally.
mm, mm. It's very difficult, like you said, to move away from that. I was taught to take the high road and I've always won by taking the high road, to pick your battles and to follow that model. This year has been especially challenging, obviously, for everyone. All of our leaders have been thrown into COVID that they never signed up for in the beginning. What are some of your tips for triaging multiple crises and disasters, because you, like so many, were thrown into all this? How do you triage when it's just everything broke in a matter of weeks, Dean, for everyone? How do you manage those kinds of crises, Dean?
Well, you have two choices: either run away, or uh, sit back and pull together the talent that you surrounded yourself with, and try to work out solutions. I'm very blessed with so many people who I work with on here in my law office, who have tremendous experience and a good sense of what's right and wrong, and and I think I rely heavily on that. And so, we all we can do is take one thing at a time, knowing that you're still trying to do the right thing. And in the end, I think people understand that and appreciate that. When we had the infrastructure problem back in late 2019, and then followed by the COVID crisis, we took it one thing at a time, trying to, in terms of COVID, trying to listen to the science, trying to understand what the national leadership was telling us, what the state leadership was telling us, to try to make decisions here at the local level that we thought were going to best suit the uh, the the lives, as well as trying to restore livelihoods here in our own community. So I'm hoping we did as best we could. Our community appreciated the approaches we took, and here we are today in April of 2021, and I think we're better for it. And hopefully we'll be able to continue to prosper and get ourselves back on our feet, and return to the excitement that Fort Lauderdale has always been.
Mm, mm. Yeah, everything was just what we were working here, and all of our systems broke. There were so many things that just we had our standard operating procedures. And as I watched all of our partners, Dean, you touched on one thing that I think is very important, and that's having an effective team. And my question to you is, how do you attract top talent? And part two of my question is, how do you retain the top talent that you attract? Because I've said no matter what successes I've had, I can't do it by myself, and I've had amazing people to work. So, Dean, what's your tips and tricks for attracting top talent and keeping them on your team, and that makes you successful, Dean?
I think by the grace of God, we've been introduced to these people, and it's just just think it's a willingness to respect other people's opinions and be inclusive of in decision making. Don't think like it's all about yourself, because it really isn't. And if you empower people in participating in events and decision making, I think that's what allows people to feel encouraged to stay on, and to realize that they are truly part of the team. And while I may be the public figure, the reality is that most of the decision making is done within the circle of advisors that I have, that I've associated with over these past several years.
Mm. And I guess my part three of that question is, how do you maintain morale during difficult times? Because when you're drained as a leader, and then you feel people are drained, how do you maintain morale?
Cosmos for everyone. It works every time. No, seriously, it's not easy, but I think that I think if people feel like they're part of something really valuable happening, like they're really doing something good for the community, and they feel that they're an integral part of it, it's not only invigorating, it's intoxicating. It's really makes you feel good about you're living this moment in time, and you are part of history. Much of the national narrative that goes on when it comes to race relations, when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to a lot of the issues that are, gun control, all these national issues all have meaning here locally. We are all part of that national narrative, and how we address it and interpret it and apply it here in our own city is all part of who we are and why we're part of the system. And when you include people in making those decisions, and inviting them to be creative, it really it's the glue that keeps people together. And I guess while we've been so lucky as a city to have been able to attract so much great talent to be able to move the city forward.
There was a TV show or a movie, and I can't remember the line, where one of the characters says, "Haven't you ever wanted to be a part of something truly great?" And I remember that. And there is an intrinsic value, and you find those people who want to be a part of something great and want to be a part of something like that. When you find those people and you fit them with their skills, that's a part of creating a great team.
And I think that is very much what I aspire to achieve. And every day we work towards that, and we're doing some great things in our city, and for the whole community. It's not just the city, but things that we do in Fort Lauderdale, we influence decisions in other cities, and vice versa. Things that happen in some of the towns around us. We watch for the best practices, and try to work together and partner with a lot of things. For example, at the beginning of COVID, we worked with Wilton Manors in Oakland Park, and we established a food distribution site at Mills Pond Park. Working together, we were able to achieve that. We had volunteers from all the cities, and we were able to help feed thousands of people every week, and until such time as this virus, we were able to curb its effects, and people were able to get back to work.
Thanks a lot. There's been so many challenges this year in our government, as I think we've stepped up in a lot of ways. My last question is, what is one rule of leadership that you have learned that has carried you through your career? If people only remember one thing from our conversation today, Dean.
I think we've said, and that is just listen to people, be honest, and move forward, make those decisions that are necessary. I think that I think that carries you through everything. It carries you through the negativity. It carries you through the adversity. It carries you through the doubts that you often harbor when you're trying to make a decision. I think if you feel good about the direction you're taking, then I think you can overcome all those influences that try to ambush your pathway, to success. Um, so these are lessons I have learned over the years, and I've, sometimes they've worked and sometimes they haven't. We're all human beings, but in the end, I think that being able to work together with people and respect one another, I think in the end that's what makes doing all this the fun that it is.
Mm. There is, when I worked, my dissertation in my past work is in medical education. And one of the things that we taught medical students was that bedside manner and their patient-centered skills were imperative to care. There's also a direct correlation to malpractice lawsuits, that if the patients feel like their physician truly cares about them, the physician did the best job they could, the probability of a malpractice lawsuit drops dramatically, because the patient feels like they did the best they could. And we re-emphasize to students over and over again, give the best care you can. If anything, you won't get sued for malpractice because the patient truly believes you did the best you could. And it's very, very sincere. And it's that caring that we instilled in our students, to care about your patients, care about the people that come into your office, because they want to know you care about them. They want to give the best care that they can give. It's not just, they weren't just numbers. We taught patient-centered medicine, and that was a big part of my dissertation, is understanding a treatment plan that works for patients and that works for that particular one, and training physicians to be that way. So anyway, that's my little caveat, is that
Well, that's good
listening
advice.
is so important.
It's good advice. I appreciate
Listening is
that.
so important. Yeah. Anyway, Dean, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you have a busy schedule and a lot of things to do. Is there anything you wanted to cover that I didn't ask?
No, I think you asked some probing questions. So thank you for having this program, and I hope many people will be able to listen to it and be happy to come back if you ever need me again.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we thank you for all that our government's doing and for what you're doing. And we look forward to a much, much more prosperous and happy 2021, as challenging as 2020 was. So Dean Trantalis of the Trantalis Law, Trantalis Associates, and mayor of our wonderful Fort Lauderdale here. So we're going to put up your website there, Dean, for information if people want to. Arthur's going to put up your website there if they want to get in contact, fortlauderdale.gov. And the welcome, you've had some welcome letters for us in the magazine. We thank you for that, Dean.
You're very welcome. Thank you again.
Thank you. Our website is outclick.com, outclique.com, or you can text 228, there it is, 22828 to stay updated on us. Dean, thank you, and let us know if we can do anything for you.
Very good. Bye-bye.
Thank you.